Good morning, everybody. I just want to give you guys a few more minutes because I think there's a few more people that are planning on coming on, and I don't want to have them come on in the middle. So I'm going to give it about 1 or 2 more minutes before I start. If you guys can hear me, I just want to make sure you can. Can you just type something in the message part? I'm actually having technical difficulties with my cell phone this morning where I can't even put it into airplane mode because it's completely frozen. Don't know if you guys have ever had this happen. I see the message about some people switching to Sunday. One person did tell me, I think there's still about, let's see, at least 6 more people who said they were going to come this morning and haven't gone on yet. So I'll give it just 1 more minute to give them a chance to log on. Yes, iPhone. I've never had this happen. It's literally, I don't know if you could see this, a message, like a news message came in at the top and it froze my phone. I can't turn it off. I can't restart it. And I use it for my timer. So I'm going to, for when I'm doing these sort of things. So I'm going to have to use my computer. I can't even restart it. I have to call Apple after this. It's completely frozen. The part where you restart it, it's like covered by the news message. See this thing? It literally, like you can't even restart it. Anyway, I tried that. I'll try again. Let's see. As I was trying this for like 15 minutes before I got on the call, it wasn't doing it. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone for now and start with you guys here today. Oh, we got a couple more people that just came on. Great. Okay, so let me start by introducing myself. My name is Alison Friedman, and I am a certified Chopra Center meditation instructor. I've been certified in something called primordial sound meditation, which is a form of Vedic meditation. And it's actually Deepak Chopra broke off from something called transcendental meditation and did his own thing and created a system with personal mantras that is pretty awesome and very powerful. And I'll go into in a little bit what a mantra is so you can understand the meaning of that. Just to give you a background of how I got into this, my mother was teaching yoga in my basement in the 70s. And so I was always exposed to meditation, but really didn't start a regular practice till about 2008. After my father passed away, I was looking for an outlet for stress management. And I started with a breathing meditation. It was an 8-minute breathing meditation, which I really did enjoy for a long period of time. And then I decided I need a little bit more, and I went to a 20-minute guided meditation that was online. And I did that for a few months, and then I started researching a little bit more about Deepak and the Chopra Center, and that's how I got into this whole thing. And now I meditate twice a day. I try to do at least 20 or 30 minutes in the morning and in the afternoon. I call it my afternoon coffee because it recharges me, and I find that I'm extremely more focused and able to go on with the second half of my day in a much more effective manner. So that's just a little bit about me, and I wanted to actually talk about why you guys are here today, because a lot of people look at meditation as a stress management tool, and it actually really is. I call it the antidote to stress, but there are a lot of other reasons why people meditate and the benefits you can get from them. And if you you can go onto my website, which is I Am Life Solutions, and I have a great article from Psychology Today that lists 20 different reasons why you should meditate. I'm just going to pull a few out for you now that I think are sort of the high-level reasons that is a good idea to meditate, which is things like, but the number one thing I think for people, especially in your company, is it's a great productivity tool. It really, they're calling it, there's a lot of business articles written about it now that a lot of very high-level people in business are doing this because they find that they're much more efficient, they're using their time better, they're able to sleep better, which actually they're actually people who have been wearing Fitbits and things to sleep that track their sleep find that after getting into doing meditation on a regular basis, their sleep is deeper and they actually need less of it. So that's actually, I think, a fabulous result from meditating. It helps with lowering your blood pressure. It helps with depression. It helps regulate your emotions and improve your immune function, improves your memory. And one of my favorite things to talk about is a study that was done at Harvard. They did an MRI scan of people's brains before and after 8 weeks of regular meditation. The people did it for an average of 27 minutes a day, and they showed that the part of their brain where it's called the amygdala, where they had a decrease in gray matter density in that part of their brain, which is known to play an important role in people's anxiety and stress. And I just love it. The facts are there. There's lots of information. I have that article on my website too if you want to read further about it, because I think that's really amazing. That's why a lot of times when I teach meditation, I try to do it in a series format, because I like people to check in with me regularly. And sometimes people have a hard time getting into a regular practice on their own. And knowing the business you're in, you can relate to this. Creating habits, that's really important. So it's like eating, it's like exercising, it's like anything else. If you meditate on a regular basis, you're going to see results. It just is. The fact is there. But if you do it once in a while, I mean, you might feel really good after that meditation, but you are not going to get the real maximum benefit from the experience. So I offer a lot of different series where I sometimes, because 8 weeks sounds overwhelming to people, I break it into 2 4-week sessions, and people do weekly classes with me. And I'm starting to do a lot more virtual classes, because a lot of times the feedback I'm getting is people are doing love hearing me guide them into a meditation on their, but they don't do it on their own. So that's sort of where I am with that. So today, what I have planned is we're going to do a little bit of a visualization exercise that is going to help you sort of unwind and relax. And then I'm going to go through a little bit of self-exploration, and I have a couple of little parts to the meditation where you'll see what we're going to do, ask some questions of yourself. And then I'm going to guide you into a meditation that uses a mantra. And I know people have different ideas of what a mantra is, and I want to just sort of tell you my view of a mantra from what my training has taught me. A mantra is a tool to help you go within. So the one we're going to use today is, it's in Sanskrit, and Sanskrit is an ancient language of India. And the reason I really like using this mantra is because of its vibrational quality. So you may have heard like a baby cry, or the sound of like the ocean, the different things happening, and they're not actually words to it, but you understand what's happening, the feeling you get from it. And that's a lot of what you get from this type of a mantra. It relaxes your nervous system. There's a vibrational quality to it, even though you're not saying it out loud. It is affecting you internally. And I'll always, if I use a Sanskrit term, I will always define it in English as well, just because I want you to understand what we're talking about. If there's a translation, I will always give it to you. And but I think some of these ancient teachings and words are really important to use, and I don't like to strip them out of what I'm teaching. I try to keep it very in a place where like I don't use the word God, and I keep it very sort of open to everybody, more of like a Main Street type of meditation, where it doesn't feel where it feels comfortable for everybody, not using words that people don't understand. So that's my thoughts on Sanskrit and mantras. And one other big thing I would want to talk about is the concept of your thoughts. People, so this is the most common thing I hear. People say, I can't meditate because I can't stop my thoughts. Well, you're not going to be able to stop your thoughts just because you sat down to meditate. What's going to happen is you have 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts that come through your head, and every single day, and they're not going to stop just because you're meditating. What's going to happen is you're going to eventually learn from practice, because meditation is a practice, how to interrupt the flow of those thoughts. I kind of like to use the analogy of clouds floating through the sky. Like those are thoughts coming through, and as you start to learn how to use a mantra, it will interrupt those thoughts. So that's sort of if you're just sitting down and doing this, anybody can meditate. Anybody. I've taught kids with disabilities. I've taught older people, younger people. Anybody can meditate. It's just a matter of giving yourself time to sit in quiet and practice. So that's my spiel on getting us going and a little bit of an introduction. And I'm going to leave some, I don't know if anybody has any questions at this point. You could type them into the side if you do. And I'm also going to allow a little bit of time at the very end for questions after we go through the whole meditation. But there's several parts to the meditation today. And I'll give you instructions the whole time. And the piece that we're going to use, the mantra, is the part that you can take away and try to practice on your own, because that's usually the easiest piece to do on your own. But any of the parts you could also do. And there's and I'll go through where you could find some more of this information on my website as well. So what I like to ask people to do is, if you haven't already, put your phone in airplane mode, and or some kind of silence that makes no noise to interrupt you, because that really interrupts the flow of this experience. So I know that's hard for many of you, but if you can do that, that is pretty awesome. And you just sit quietly and listen to what I'm going to say, and close your eyes. If you have a problem closing your eyes, I would just focus down. The idea is to eliminate outside stimulation. And if you're uncomfortable at any point, you can shift in your seat or however you're sitting. You can sit with your hands however you like. There's no formal way of sitting with your hands. And the idea is to be comfortable, and this should feel effortless. So with that being said, I'm going to take a sip of water because that was a lot of talking. Hold on one sec. Alrighty. Let's close our eyes and prepare to meditate. So let's take a few long, deep breaths in. Let's start by stepping into the stillness of your own body. We transform the world by transforming ourselves. Together, let's just settle in. Let's think about our world. Let's take a long, deep breath in and let that go. Let go of anything that doesn't concern you right now. Remember, this is your time. Allow yourself to enjoy your time here today. Meditation is a practice. Make this your own practice and allow it to feel effortless. Dedicate this time today to just being and allowing and not judging yourself. Really allow yourself to get comfortable. The key to the most magnificent unfolding of your life is to really be gentle with yourself. With each breath in, allow yourself to become more deeply relaxed. As you inhale, can make a gentle inhale, but I want you to notice the most predominant sound you could detect around you right now. I just want you to hear what you're hearing. It might be my voice. It might be something in your room where you're sitting. It might be a car driving in the distance. Just notice the most predominant sound, and on your next breath, see if you can shift your awareness to the most subtle sound. It could be the sound of your own breath, or maybe your hair wrestling against your neck. Or maybe a sound outside this room, the room you're sitting in. Now, keeping your eyes closed, on your next breath, I want you to shift your attention to your sight. Even with your eyes closed, I want you to see what you're seeing. Perhaps it can be, you can notice the cells floating in front of your eyes. Or perhaps you can see where the light is streaming in through your eyelids. But just allow yourself to see what you're seeing. This technique is called Come to Your Senses. We're going to work through all 5 of our senses, noticing the most predominant and the most subtle. And on your next inhale, allow your awareness to gently rest on the most predominant tactile sensation. For most of us, we're sitting in a chair, so it might be your bottom in a chair, or if you're sitting on the floor, it could be the floor, the feeling of sitting on the floor. Or perhaps you have a pain in your knee or a tickle in your throat. Just notice whatever the most predominant tactile sensation is. And on your next inhale, see if you can notice the most subtle sensation. This might be as subtle as the breath coming in and out of your nostrils. It might be as subtle as the hair on the back of your neck. Really tune your attention into the most physical sensations. And now on your next breath, I want you to taste what you're tasting. Even though you're not eating anything currently, perhaps you can taste a snack you may have just had, breakfast, coffee that you may have just had a sip of. Maybe your mouth tastes acidic or dry. Just noticing that most predominant taste sensation. And on your next inhale, see if you can shift your awareness to the most subtle taste. And if you're not tasting anything at all, that's okay too. There's no right or wrong here. Now on your next inhale, I want you to smell what you are smelling. I want you to smell the most predominant smell in the room where you're sitting. It might be your own hair product. It might be the smell of breakfast that you made before. Just allow yourself to smell the most predominant smell. And now shift to the most subtle smell. So maybe it's the fact that you don't smell anything at all. Or how does the room where you're sitting in right now compare to another room in your house, maybe? Or your office? And on your next breath, I want you to see if you can allow your awareness to rest on all 5 senses at the same time. So enjoying your sense of hearing, your sense of touch, your sense of sight, your sense of taste, and your sense of smell, all simultaneously. Awakening all 5 senses in the body, jettisoning yourself into the right brain and therefore into the right now, the present moment. Meditation helps us stay in the present moment. I'm now going to shift to a new part of this meditation, and I want you to bring your awareness to your heart center and be aware of your breath here. Just simply observe your breath as it naturally flows in and flows out. There's no need to force or concentrate on your breath. Just allow it to be normal, not controlling it in any way. We are silently going to ask ourselves 4 questions. These are called the 4 soul questions. So let's ask the first question, which is, who am I? You may not know the answer to this question right now, but this may be a good time to start the dialogue with the universe. Who am I? Who am I is not a sensation, image, or thought. Who am I? Shift into being. Just be. If we want to find our true potential, if we want to feel our true desires, if we want to manifest things in our lives, whatever it is, whether it's success or relationships, health, higher consciousness, then we must shift into the real I, and we do that by asking ourselves, who am I? Letting the answers bubble up on the level of our soul. Just ask the question and listen to the answers without effort and without trying. And if no response comes, that's okay too. You're simply tuning in to the stillness and silence of your own being. Now let's go on to the second soul question. What do I want? The answers can be material, physical, emotional, or spiritual. Anything that you want to see fulfilled. There's no right or wrong response. All desires arrive and are filled in our consciousness. Following your true desires is the path of evolution. You'll find that as you go deeper and deeper into your essential nature, what you want is less about money and objects, and what you really want is about abundance, fulfillment, and bliss. What do I want? What do I want is an experience, but we don't force an experience. You say, what do I want? And then allow that experience to come to you right now in the form of a sensation, image, feeling, or thought. Just be open to it. What do I want? Listen to the answers. Follow what you really hear. It's more productive to follow that voice of who you really are and what you really want right now, because that's what unlocks the transformation to deeper wisdom and fulfillment. What do I want? Allow any sensation, image, feeling, or thought to come to you. The third soul question is, what is my purpose in life? Another way to ask this is, how can I use my unique gifts and talents to serve others and myself? Again, let the answers bubble up from within without forcing or concentrating. And if no answers arise, that's fine too. What is my purpose in life? How can I help? How can I serve? What is my purpose? This is also an experience, so allow any sensation, image, feeling, or thought to come. Let's move on to the fourth soul question, which is, what am I grateful for? Gratitude is a divine quality that connects us to our heart and awakens us to our sense of true abundance. We can't simultaneously focus on what is missing and wrong in our lives when our attention is on gratitude. So ask yourself now, what am I grateful for? Allowing any sensation, image, feeling, or thought to come to you. What am I grateful for? By asking these questions and listening to the answers without judgment or evaluation, we begin to explore the deeper levels of our being. Over time, the process becomes more refined, taking us beyond the superficial aspects of our life and opening us up to the most fundamental levels of our soul. We begin to rediscover who we really are. Now let's take another deep breath in. And as we exhale, let's release the soul questions to the universe, which is infinite and will work out all of the details. The next part of today's meditation is called Neti Neti in Sanskrit. Neti Neti can roughly be defined as not this, not this. It is a method of inquiry. It means finding out who we are not. I'm not this body. I'm not these emotions. I'm not this thought or experience. And it is said that by finding out what you are not leads to the knowledge of what you are. This exercise slowly discards your assumed identities, which is the conditioning of your consciousness, not who you are. Regular meditation helps to better recognize your assumed identities, like calling yourself a mother or father, sister, brother, teacher, doctor. It's all the roles that you attach yourself to, your assumed identity. All these things that you attach yourself to, and then you say, that's me. Your name is also an assumed identity. Your name is in time. It's an experience, not who you are. What I'd like you to do now is silently begin saying the following sentence. I am, followed by your full name, your first name, and your last name. With this practice, we begin to realize that what we are referring to is an experience. It's in time. The entity that we call ourselves is not a constant entity. It's constantly changing and evolving. Again, we don't do anything except repeat the words. We repeat our full name, which is our assumed identity, which is not I, even though we are attaching it to I. Now we take off the last name and just repeat I am and your first name. This is also an assumed identity, but the first name is more innocent, a less conditioned assumed identity. This is the name given to you when you were a baby. Again, we are slowly discarding every assumed identity, which is the conditioning of your consciousness, not who you are. It's all the things you attach yourself to and then say, that's me. Our name is in time. It's an experience, not who we are. Now we take away the name, and what we are left with is I am. Silently repeat, I am. I am is not in time. I am this or I am that's time. We cannot get rid of I am. We cannot have an experience without I am. No matter what experience we have, I am gets attached to that experience. Now, just by repeating I am, we are not in time. I am, I am, I am. Now let's drop the I am and repeat just the sound vibration of I am, which is a hum. This is also the sound behind Om, the primordial universal sound. A hum, a hum, a hum. Now we are going to gently introduce the mantra So Hum. With each repetition, allow your body and mind to open to an expanded state of awareness. The So Hum guided meditation is a simple but powerful technique that uses the breath and the repetition of a mantra to quiet the mind and relax the body. This meditation will help you move beyond your mind's busy chatter to the peace of present moment awareness. Soham is Sanskrit, it's a Sanskrit term, and is not only a reflection of your breath, but also carries a contemplative meaning. I am that. So means I am, and hum means that, which refers to all of creation or everything. This mantra connects our awareness to the timeless simplicity of our true self. What I'd like you to do now is slowly take a deep breath in while silently repeating the word so. Then slowly exhale through your nose while silently repeating the word hum. Continue to allow your breath to flow easily, silently repeating so hum with each inflow and outflow of breath, which you'll be doing through your nose. The repetition of the So Hum mantra is gentle and relaxed. There is no need to force or concentrate. As you repeat So Hum, you may notice that it changes. It may become faster or slower, louder or fainter, or it may even become distorted. However it changes, continue repeating it effortlessly, without resisting or anticipating change. It's more like listening to it rather than saying it. From time to time, you may notice that your attention has drifted away from the mantra to other thoughts in your mind, noise in your environment, or a sensation in your body. Whenever you notice your attention has drifted to thoughts in your mind, sounds in your environment, or sensations in your body, gently return to your breath, silently repeating So Hum. Let go of any expectations you have during this practice. If you notice that you're focusing on a feeling, mood, or emotion, or if you're waiting for some experience to happen, treat this as you would any other thought and gently bring your attention back to the mantra, innocently going with the flow. Please continue meditating. I'll watch the time and let you know when to release the mantra. Please keep your eyes closed and release the mantra. Stop repeating the mantra. Sit restfully, inhaling and exhaling. Rest in existence. Rest in awareness. Rest in being. Just rest. Existence, awareness, being. Sat Chit Ananda. This is Sanskrit and can be translated as Sat, meaning truth, existence, or pure being. Chit, meaning consciousness, understanding, comprehension. Ananda, meaning bliss or pure happiness. When the mind unwinds and becomes calmer, bliss, love, and happiness naturally arise. Sat Chit Ananda is and has always been your true nature. Resting in existence, awareness, being. Resting in presence, resting in I. Now resting in being, resting in I, resting in existence, awareness, presence. They are all really the same thing. For the last part of the meditation today, we're going to introduce 4 intentions. As I pronounce them, mentally release them into being. Joyful, energetic body. Joyful, energetic body. Joyful, energetic body. Loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. Reflective, alert mind. Reflective, alert mind. Reflective, alert mind. Lightness of being. Lightness of being. Lightness of being. Continue to rest in being. Take a few deeper breaths and start to move around. Move your arms maybe, your feet, your legs, shoulders. And when you're ready, you can float your eyes open. So I just left a few minutes. If you guys want to type any questions or comments in the chat on the side, I can answer them. I just want to see, was this comfortable for you? Does anybody have any questions about using a mantra? Has anybody done this before? So for the person who said it was their first time, uh, is this something that felt natural as you were doing it today? Did it come easily, or was it a little hard to, I call it, get your monkey mind to settle down? I don't know if people are going to type or not, but I can tell you that it takes a little bit of time sometimes. I Some days are better than other days. Some days come easier, and even if you decide to meditate, to sit down and meditate, and you think, "Oh, that was a waste of time because my mind was off thinking about all these things. I never really settled." Um, you're actually going through and processing those thoughts and actually releasing them, and and you're not wasting your time. It was whatever you were meant to be dealing with at that moment. So yes, I'm reading that the time passed fast. Some people settled and some people didn't. Um, you'll find what I hear a lot, especially when people meditate in the morning. With me, they say that their day, as they move on throughout their day, they feel different. They notice that they're sometimes able to handle challenges with a little bit more ease. And I actually, when people get into a regular routine of meditating, I recommend doing it first thing in the morning, and then if you can, in like mid-afternoon, where you may have normally grabbed coffee or something like that at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, because you get a sense of energy afterwards. It takes a few minutes to come out of a meditation, but once you come out, it's my best time for work. Like I am clear, focused, and I get so much done, I'd say, in that hour after I meditate every day, whenever I do it, whenever I'm, whichever time of day. Um, but I don't recommend meditating too close to bedtime, even though people think of it as a relaxation tool. This type of meditation gives you energy, and it does help with your sleep, even though you're doing it earlier in the day. It's the way it's the process of how it works. There are other types of meditations and other kinds of mantras to use at bedtime if you're having sleep issues. And I do teach some classes on just specifically things related to sleeping better. And a lot of what we did is on my website. It's I Am Life Solutions, and I can send a follow-up email so you guys can figure out where to find me. I also have a Facebook page for my business, and I post a lot of things about meditation, things, my offerings, but also in general about how meditation helps all different kinds of things. I love finding articles about CEOs and their success, and a lot of really majorly successful people meditate every single day in their morning routine. And I things about improving golf games and things, those sorts of articles I love to post about. Anyway, if you don't have any more questions, we can move on with your day. If you do, you can type them in. I can always be reached by email if you think of something later. And I think the plan is to try to figure out some type of virtual ongoing thing that you guys can join in, and it's a matter of figuring out the best time of day to do it. So I guess we're going to try to figure out what's the good time slot for everyone. But the key to this and to having success with it is doing it regularly and creating a habit. So thank you guys. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I enjoyed this today. Take care. See you soon.